into a traveling mode. They are nocturnal feeding animals, so they come out during the day to rest. We call it a holiday. These long days we get here get this unprecedented algae bloom, zooplankton, phytoplankton. Basically, it's the beginning of the food chain.
yet?
We are.
Great. Where's everyone been so far in Alaska? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. How about yourselves?
We're kind of in Woodville area. Alyosha.
Oh, that's really pretty. Those are all really pretty spots. The South Bank. So you haven't been up to Denali far?
Oh yeah, Dad, take some pictures.
I
There is
will.
a spot I'll stop and get off and take pictures for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's gonna be hard to take pictures.
Nana, do you have your phone? I can put it in your. Oh, you have it? It's great. So then you can give it to.
Hey, just a sec. The mare I have, easy guys, has equals. Amy, you are Tuff here, who is my Cadillac. Yep. And he had a 9-year-old without your reins, so you need to have at least one hand on your reins at all times. Bismarck and Tuff, you're going to be holding one-handed, like an ice cream cone, just above where the braid starts. They're real easy, and you're going to look and point where you want to go. So if you want to go to the left, you're going to look where you want to the left and point to the left. If you want to go to the right, you're going to look to the right and point to the right. If you want to stop, you're going to pull back, say whoa. Once they stop, you're going to release, because if you keep pulling back, they're going to back up, because that's what you're asking them to do. For my fjord boys, Tot and Smoke, you're going to be holding two-handed, like an ice cream cone, with your thumbs pointing towards the middle bracket. If you want to go to the left, you're going to pull back on the left rein and look to the left. If you want to go to the right, you're going to look to the right and pull back on the right rein. If you want to stop, you're going to sit back, pull back, and say whoa. If once they stop, you're going to release, because if you keep pulling back, they're going to back up, because that's what you're asking them to do. In case of an emergency, since we are in the wilds of Alaska, I always teach how to do an emergency stop. I've never had to use it, but I know the one time I don't teach it is the one time I'm going to need it.
Right.
So if your horse panics or you hear me say left rein, left rein, left rein, what I'm asking you to do is grab one rein and pull it behind you as far as you can. This turns their head so they can't run, buck, or rear, and I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. As I said, I've never had to use it, but I like it. Hey, you even know how to put your legs better. I point people sometimes. Somebody in California wrote an article Nice job, David. Nice job. David, you want to two-hand Bismarck? You want to pull behind?
I got my.
Bit easier for me to get your gear on. And as y'all see to the other end, you're gonna see that the cable is way higher off the platform than it has been. So to decrease the wedgie that you will be feeling when you come in, go ahead and try to find the top step as soon as you can. Gavin's gonna try to make it easy for you. Zip in, zip in. If you wanna use that white rope for balance, just to get up onto the step, that will be totally good. I know this one can be a little bit funky, but it is awesome. All right, and then off to the side. All right, come on in.
And right up there, and you were Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone out of order, I can learn faces, not just order. This is where
My very favorite line of the day. You can step a little bit closer there towards the edge. We're gonna be going off sideways again, so you can go just like that. It's just a little bit shorter than the last one we just did, but it gets a little bit more speed, especially on days like today. Zippin', zippin', especially if you cannonball. Yep, just tuck your arms and legs in, try to reduce that wind resistance as much as possible. All right, and if you step a little bit closer to the edge, cool. And just move that hand off the cable. You can sit all the way down as low as you can go and just step right off to the side.
All right, I got you. Come on in. And right up on that step for me.
That is going right on. Zippin', zippin'. All right, man. You sit all the way down. You are good to go.
Come on in, David. And right up on that step for me. How's that?
Good.
All right. Yep, it's a quick 3-mile jaunt uphill.
Zippin', zippin'. My dad always used to say, you sit all the way down, and you're good to go.
All right, come on in, David. And ready. Zip clear. Zip on.
It's not super common. It definitely, happens. We're prepared for it. Usually if somebody decides they don't want to go on at all, zippin', zippin', it's going to happen actually before the first zip line, just at the top of, after those bridges right there. All right? So just sit all the way down there and off to the side. Let's see that cannonball.
Come on in. And right on that step. Awesome.
I don't know.
There we go.
And so what I'm doing when I lay down like that is trying to keep myself straight, because it spreads your weight out a little bit more, and then you can kind of twist side to side.
Do you hold on when you do that?
I go hands free. But do whatever you want to do. Zippin', zippin'. All right, man. You're good to go. Yeah. There we go.
And come on in, right up there. Oops, sorry about that. Cool, pop that there. And right down over there. Zip clear.
Oh, the line now? Nice.
When you go into the picnic, it's just gonna be like down there. It was at most 10
Yeah, oh yeah, you're totally right.
No,
So for 3 years it's been green. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, you know what I mean? All right, guys, so now that we have everybody down here, if you guys can look right down there, that is your guys' black box. We've moved all of your belongings over here. We're gonna get you guys disconnected from the platform. Once we do, you guys are gonna step down the stairs onto that pavilion directly below us, and we're gonna stay there for the duration of the tour. Not gonna go anywhere else. You guys can go ahead and take your gloves off as you step down. Put them in that wire bin that you're gonna see on your left as you step down the stairs. Keep the rest of your gear on till your guides get down to you, okay? Have you rotate that way. Watch the steps. They can be a little slippery when they're wet. Use those handrails. And once we get you unclipped, you're welcome to head on down. You're good to go, sir.
There you go.
Nice, Jack. Perfect.
Alright, so y'all with the GoPros, you can hang on to your helmets. Everyone else, you can start feeling for those clips just underneath your left ear. You can feel for the ridges. And it is a little bit tricky, but once you get those helmets off, you can set them on these pegs right next to the pictures of the helmets.
All right. Do you
And then just go ahead and find a
up, or do you
square
want your individual card?
right here, and we will help you with all that gear. So EJ, just turn right here, man. I will help you out of this harness. I know you want to wear it all day, but listen to some other folks out there.
Very clearly.
Dude,
No competition.
In the roped areas, please do not step beyond the ropes, but you can reach over the ropes if the dog comes up to you.
If a dog is shy or hiding or seeming a little bit aggressive, just move on to the next dog. And remember that you are all dog trainers as well, so if the dog is hopping up on you, jumping, or even nibbling on your fingers, you want to say no, walk away, and don't give that dog any more attention. Move on to the next dog. So if you have any other questions aside from that, feel free to go up to me or any of the other rangers, interns, or volunteers.
Hello guys, I will introduce myself before we get out here on the water. My name is Demetrius. I'm going to be your guide for the day. I'm a born and raised Alaskan. I grew up right here in this area.
Awesome.
So yeah, feel free to ask me any questions and I will be sure to pop back with a quick and witty response. I'm trying to be a raft guide by day, comedian by night. A lot like Superman, except you know, my suit is a lot more dark and ominous than his. Now, before we really get started here, I'd like to get a baseline for your paddle skills. If everybody can just put their paddles in the water and give me their best. Alright, so keep in mind these commands can be used for both forwards and backwards, so keep your ears open for a forward or backward command. Lastly, I'd like everybody to take a look at the person in front of you. If you don't have anybody in front of you, well, congratulations, you've just gotten promoted. You're now my lead paddlers. Nice. I want you guys to essentially take this moment here, look into each other's eyes, do a little bit of soul bonding. When I call out my paddle commands, put your paddle into the water at the same time. Right? Everyone else with somebody in front of them, you're going to want to look at that person in front of you. When they put their paddle in the water, you should be doing the same.
Sort of paddling when we were on the train. So we got a picture of this.
Alright, and we are off. So now guys, we've got about 10 or 15 minutes before we come into our first rapid. So we're going to have that time to work on our paddle. At some point we got to stop.
Good. You always get what you want.
Yep. I think that was the song.
Open the door there.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, forward 3-star! 1, 2, 3! Oh, that one. Yaha!
Let's get one more paddle load, guys. Yeah, you know the problem with this rapid is probably why it doesn't have an aim. That those big waves don't come out. It's only like So guys, if you look underneath the bridge, you may notice this scaffolding line. A lot of people like to walk out there and party to see.
I've seen some of those. And then they get a little pond. Seed pond.
I'm told that that's how they determine where snow is concerned. I've heard two different estimates about when it is.
What was that?
I've been told that when the firework is all the way at the top,
Look at me. Look at me, everybody.
Hey guys, you got your mom there. Wow.
Last but not least. Down!
Up, you go sideways that way for green. Alright, this will be exciting. I've never done this before.
Yeah, so you're gonna watch that. Yeah. And clear that thing, my man.
Keep going, we're not done yet. Stop right there, guys.
Hi, I'm savoring the memories of a wonderful travel adventure to Alaska with our darling grandsons and our daughter Zoe and my sweet husband Sal, where we had so many great adventures and saw the glaciers, saw our first grizzly bear and cubs, which was so exciting, and rode whitewater waves And that was really terrific. Thanks for all the joyful memories. Kids, I'll never forget it.
My three favorite things were whitewater rafting, zip lining, and horseback riding. My favorite things that I saw were the glaciers, the mountains, and the grizzly bear.
My three favorite things about Alaska were ziplining, whitewater rafting, and fishing.
I loved the Alaskan scenery. It reminded me so much of New Zealand. But most of all, I loved the adventures and being with family and opening up the world to our grandsons.